Welcome back to Say No to Lashon Hara, Day 3. This project is being run as a zechut and a merit for the refuah shlema of Chana bat Simafega. Previously, we've discussed how the Chafetz Chaim illustrated that Lashon Hara is the primary cause of the destruction of the temple, and as well, it is stopping us from having Mashiach come, the Messiah come and redeem us, and take us out of Galut, out of exile. The question is, why? What is so special, so unique, so powerfully destructive about Lashon Hara that it could cause such terrible consequences? So there's 2 points that we have to consider. The first point is understanding the Jewish perspective on Lashon Hara. Chafetz Chaim explains that in Shamayim, in the heavens, when God decides what to do on this world, so much of those decisions are governed by the words that Am Yisrael speaks in this world. When we have negative conversations, when we speak badly about one another, we literally hand the keys to the Satan, to the Malach HaMavet, to the Yetzer Hara, to prosecute up in the heavenly court and carry out the most difficult decrees on earth. The Zohar tells us that this avon, this sin, causes sword, causes plague, causes murder to enter into this world. Now, most of us would think that that means that our words are powerful in and of themselves, and that is true. Our words can cause difficult things to take place. But the Zohar is not referring to the physical ramifications of the words that we say. The Zohar is expressing that when we say terrible things down here about each other, all of the sudden, the Satan is also given the power to say terrible things about us and our generation. If we do it down here, in heaven, they mirror our actions and they allow negative speech to be said about us down here on earth. The Chafetz Chaim explains, the Gemara in Arachin says, Magdil avonot ad lashamayim. If a person speaks Lashon Hara, they increase, they make sins huge until they reach the heavens. What does that mean, that it makes sins huge? And the answer is that we may sin from time to time. And you know what? Up in the heavens, they see that we've made mistakes, but God is patient and judgment is not called into play. But the minute we start speaking negatively about somebody else, we hand the microphone to the Satan to speak about us. And that Satan speaks about every sin. And therefore, a person who speaks Lashon Hara, says the Gemara, he is Magdil Avonot Ad Lashamayim. He raises the sins to the heavens. And then, unfortunately, we know how that turns out when our sins are brought before the heavenly tribunal. That's the first perspective. Words have power, not just here on earth, but also in the heavens. The second idea is something entirely different. I want you to imagine for a second, in my own explanation of the words of the Chafetz Chaim, I want you to imagine for a second that a person has a shovel, and they use this shovel all the time to be able to shovel snow. But instead of using the shovel as a shovel, they use it as a hammer, and they start using the shovel to smack nails in, to hit pieces of wood, and eventually the shovel is mangled, and it cannot do the job that it was meant to do from the beginning. Our tongues were designed to be able to speak words of Torah, of Lashon Hara, of compliments, to be able to create spiritual beauty, mitzvot, in the very heavens. But when we corrupt our mouths with Lashon Hara, with Nivul Peh, with speaking evil, with speaking bad words, with swearing, all these different things, we take this tool and we dull its power. And our words of Torah and our words of tefillah, our words of prayer and of study, we send them towards the heavens, but they never quite make it there. The Chafetz Chaim explains that those words of Torah and of tefillah, they hang between heaven and earth, suspended in the air. Now, if our prayers are so powerful and our Torah is so powerful, those are the things that will save us from difficult times, and that will be a zechut and a merit for us in difficult times. But if each time we send it, but it never quite gets to the address, because the tool to deliver those words has been harmed and broken by Lashon Hara, what will the result be? Imagine taking your greatest tool, Torah and Tefillah, and crippling it by speaking Lashon Hara and breaking the vessel that delivers those words to the heavens. See you next time.